Okay, picture this. You're standing right smack dab in the middle of a crosswalk, and it feels like, I don't know, the entire population of a small town, maybe over 3,000 people all moving at once.
Wow.
Yeah. And somehow, almost miraculously, nobody bumps into each other. That's Shibuya Crossing in Tokyo.
It's iconic, isn't it?
Totally. And think of this deep dive today as like your personal VIP tour, your express lane to understanding some really fascinating bits about Japan, all based on the sources you sent over.
Yeah, and what's really captivating, I think, right from the start, is how these sources highlight that incredible duality you find in Japan.
Right.
This society that fully embraces cutting-edge, super modern tech, but at the same time, deeply cherishes its ancient traditions.
Exactly. It's this constant interplay.
It is, and that's going to be a theme today, I think, as we look at everything from, the huge skylines to the really delicate art of their food.
Absolutely. The material paints such a rich picture. We've got a great look at the must-see cities, the big landmarks, a really mouth-watering exploration of Japanese food that goes way beyond, just sushi and ramen.
Way beyond.
Some essential insider tips for getting around, understanding
Yeah.
the culture, the etiquette, and just a vivid sense of Japan's, distinct beauty across the seasons.
Hmm.
So our mission for you, the listener, is really to pull out the essence of all this. We want to give you a real solid understanding of Japan. Maybe you're planning a trip, maybe prepping for a meeting, or maybe you're just curious.
Yeah, get you informed quickly.
Right. We're aiming for those aha moments,
Mhm.
those surprising facts without making it feel like you're drowning in info.
Definitely. So where should we start? Tokyo.
Let's do it. Let's dive right in. Tokyo.
Okay, so Tokyo. As the sources say, it's often the first stop for people, and Shibuya Crossing is that powerful, almost overwhelming introduction we talked about.
Yeah, overwhelming is a good word.
But what's amazing about Shibuya isn't just the sheer number of people, it's that unspoken thing, that sort of ritualistic choreography that lets it all work without chaos.
Right. No collisions.
Exactly. And that, I think, reflects a wider societal focus on order, on consideration for others, even when it's super busy.
It's like organized chaos, but on a scale that's hard to even imagine.
It really is.
And then, from that intense energy, you can literally be moments away, finding yourself in the deep quiet of the Meiji Jingu Shrine forests.
That contrast is stark, isn't it?
It's almost unbelievable, that kind of peace, right in the heart of this huge metropolis. And then for something totally different, the sources mention the Harajuku Goku, the cat coffee shop.
Ah, yes, the cat cafe.
It's such a specific, kind of quirky example of the unique, sometimes really unexpected things Tokyo offers.
Precisely. And these sharp contrasts, they're really key to understanding the character of these big Japanese cities. You
Okay.
go from Shibuya's sensory overload to the quiet reverence of a shrine and then to the playful novelty of a cat cafe. It's an incredible range. Now, if we shift focus a bit to Kyoto, we find a different feel altogether. It leans much more heavily into Japan's rich traditional side, its cultural heritage.
Kyoto. Yeah, it feels like stepping back in time in some areas, doesn't it? The Golden Pavilion, Kinkakuji, stunning in photos. I can only imagine seeing it reflecting in the water for real.
Oh, it's breathtaking.
And then there's Fushimi Inari Shrine, those endless, vibrant red torii gates just winding up the mountainside. It looks almost mystical.
It does. It's visually arresting.
What's the story with all those gates, actually?
Well, the thousands of gates at Fushimi Inari, they're actually donations from individuals, from companies. Each one is like a prayer or an offering to Inari, the Shinto god associated with rice and business, and foxes, actually.
Interesting. Foxes.
Yeah. So walking through them feels like you're passing through this pathway of devotion, really, and history.
Wow.
And then for traditional arts, the Gion district in Kyoto, especially at night, you might get a chance to see geisha performing traditional dances.
All right.
It's a carefully preserved art form. Gives you a real window into a different era.
Amazing.
Your source also had that really good tip, didn't it? From an experienced traveler about the Arashiyama bamboo forest.
Oh, yeah. Get there early, like really early in the morning, to avoid the crowds and actually hear the place. The sounds of nature.
Exactly.
That's golden advice. You can almost picture it, right? The light filtering through the rustling leaves.
It really highlights how important it is to use all your senses when you travel, not just sight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so finally, let's jump to Osaka. The sources immediately pegged this one as, paradise for food lovers.
Yeah, Dotonbori. It looks absolutely wild at night in the pictures. All those lights, that energy, and apparently the place to get takoyaki.
Oh, definitely.
Those fried octopus balls.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard they're a non-negotiable must-try in
They
Osaka.
really are. So yeah, it's clear, isn't it? Each city has its own distinct personality, its own unique things to offer.
Totally. Okay, so let's really sink our teeth into that Osaka reputation now and talk more about Japanese food.
Yes, less. And it's so important to realize that Japanese food is incredibly diverse. It's deeply rooted in regional specialties.
Right.
Like the sources say, often people outside Japan just think sushi and ramen, but the reality is just so much broader, so much more nuanced.
Absolutely. And speaking of Osaka, the sources mention okonomiyaki. And they describe it really well, I thought, like a Japanese pizza or pancake.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It immediately gives you an idea what usually goes into it.
Well, okonomiyaki is great because it's so adaptable. The base is usually this savory batter flour, eggs, shredded cabbage. But then you can add all sorts of things depending on the region or just preference. Pork belly, shrimp, veggies, mochi, even cheese sometimes.
Sounds good.
And it's cooked on a griddle, often right at your table. It can be quite interactive.
Fun.
Yeah. And then, in complete contrast to that kind of casual communal dish, you have kaiseki ryori.
Ah, the fancy one.
Haha, yeah. The traditional, super elaborate 12-course meal. The focus there is all on seasonality, this concept of shun. Each dish meticulously showcases ingredients when they're at their absolute peak.
Wow, 12 courses.
It's not just eating, it's very refined, almost ceremonial. The presentation, the artistry, it's all just as important as the taste.
Sounds like a real performance almost. A culinary journey.
It is. And then, shifting gears again, the sources point us to Kyoto for matcha desserts. Specifically, green tea ice cream at Nishiki Market.
Oh yeah, Nishiki Market looks amazing too. I could just imagine that green tea ice cream being so refreshing after walking around temples all day.
Definitely. And it shows how matcha, that powdered green tea from the tea ceremonies, has become part of everyday treats too.
Nice.
And finally, there was that interesting bit of sushi etiquette from the chef about not mixing wasabi into your soy sauce.
Oh, right. Why is that again?
Well, the chef suggests putting just a tiny bit of wasabi directly on the sushi itself. That way, you apparently let the actual subtle flavors of the fish shine through rather than just getting a big hit of wasabi and soy.
Ah, makes sense.
And framing it as like a sign of respect for the chef's work and the quality of the fish, it elevates it, doesn't it? It's not just how you like it.
Yeah, it really does. So it's super clear the food scene in Japan is incredibly rich, incredibly varied, something for everyone, and a real window into the culture too.
Definitely.
Okay, let's switch gears now to the practical stuff. Getting around, being a respectful visitor, that kind of thing.
Right. Practicalities are key. And the sources have some really valuable advice here. The Japan Rail Pass, for instance.
Ah, yeah, the JR Pass.
That's a big one for anyone planning to travel around the country a fair bit. Having unlimited travel for a set time, usually 7 days, on Japan's amazing train network, including the Shinkansen, the bullet trains. It offers huge convenience and potentially big cost savings. It's worth remembering, though, you usually need to buy it before you go to Japan. It's mainly for tourists.
Good tip. And the idea of trying an ekibento, those beautiful boxed lunches made for train travel, that sounds like such a charming, uniquely Japanese thing.
It really is.
It makes the journey itself part of the experience, even down to the food.
Absolutely. It's not just about getting from A to B efficiently. And beyond trains, just understanding basic cultural etiquette is so important for, a respectful trip.
Yeah, right.
The simple act of bowing slightly and greeting when you enter a temple at the Torii Gate, it just shows awareness, respect for the place.
Little things that mean a lot.
Exactly. And similarly, bringing a small gift if you visit someone's home doesn't have to be big or expensive, just a thoughtful gesture. It reflects that Japanese value of omotenashi, that wholehearted hospitality.
Right. Those small gestures really can make a difference. And hey, for budget travelers, that tip about the convenience stores, 7-Eleven, Family Mart for affordable, tasty lunch boxes, that's super useful.
It is. It's reassuring to know you can eat well without breaking the bank on every single meal.
Yeah, good quality even from a convenience store.
It really highlights the accessibility and the consistently high standard of even everyday stuff in Japan. Okay, so now, let's talk about the beauty of Japan across the seasons. The sources painted such a vivid picture.
Oh, yeah. The cherry blossoms, sakura season, those images are just iconic, aren't they? A symbol of Japan, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Universally recognized.
The sources mentioned Yoyogi Park in Tokyo, and the Philosopher's Bath in Kyoto is great spots to see them. It must be completely breathtaking in person.
It's a huge deal there, a time of national celebration almost. Everyone just pauses to appreciate that fleeting beauty. Then, move into winter, and the Sapporo Snow Festival sounds incredible, those massive detailed ice sculptures.
Wow.
And then the idea of relaxing in an onsen, a traditional hot spring bath, especially when it's cold outside. That sounds amazing.
Oh, totally.
It's so deeply part of the culture, a way to unwind, rejuvenate.
Sounds incredibly soothing, just what you'd need.
Yeah.
And then autumn. One of the locals in the sources talked about the maple leaves on the Nikko Mountains turning those vibrant reds. They said it showed the true colors of Japan, which is just beautiful phrasing.
It really is. It perfectly captures how each season gives you a completely different, but equally captivating look at the country's natural beauty.
Yeah.
It makes Japan a place you could visit any time of year, really. Each season has its own unique draw.
Definitely seems that way.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Japan, wow, we've covered a lot.
We have.
From the electric energy of the big cities to the deep calm of the nature spots, the amazing food, traditional and modern, plus those crucial tips on culture and travel. We've really seen how Japan weaves together its hypermodern present with its, deeply respected ancient past. It's fascinating.
It truly is.
So for you listening, just take a moment. What's the very first thing that jumps into your mind? The first thing you'd want to do or see if you went to Japan?
Good question.
And what's one Japanese food, maybe something we talked about that isn't sushi or ramen that sounds really interesting to you now?
Yeah, what would you try?
Let those thoughts sit with you for a bit. And with that, until our next exploration, sayonara.
And maybe just one final thought to leave with everyone. Reflecting on this incredible mix of high-tech progress and deep respect for tradition we've discussed, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? In our own fast-paced lives, our own societies, what parts of our own heritage or traditions are really vital to consciously preserve and carry forward? Something to think about long after this deep dive